Welcome to Gray Overload. Now, we have Intel saying a little bit more about the 13th and 14th gen processors, not a fix, not a upgraded microcode, but a extended warranty for your product. Now, it's not one that they're selling that is not worth the paper it's written on, that you get from your for your car, but or in the mail here, but it at least I hope so. But I think Intel seems like with how they mishandled, well, the last, since February until now, and their last statement was so poor, I think they're feeling we have to do something. And I feel like, I think this is Intel's um, kind of, hey, we're giving 2 years more warranty on this product, so don't all file a class action suit against us, which has already happened. And then I think it's also to make regulators kind of hopefully say Intel's doing the right thing. We don't need to force their hand on an official recall. I don't know if regulators have started looking at Intel. I suspect they probably have started, based upon these instability symptoms and Intel's quietness for so long. Um, this has reminiscence of Intel staying quiet for when Spectrum Meltdown happened, if you remember how that kind of started rolling out. But Intel's statement here is, and I quote here: Intel is committed to making sure all customers who have or currently experiencing instability symptoms on their 13th or 14th gen desktop processors are supported in the exchange process. We stand behind our products, and in the coming days we will be sharing details on the 2-year extended warranty support for our box Intel Core 13th and 14th gen processors. In the meantime, if you are currently or previously experienced instability symptoms on your Core 13th or 14th gen desktop system, for users who purchase that system from an OEM or system integrator, please reach out to the system manufacturer team for further assistance. For those of you who purchased a box CPU, please reach out to the Intel customer support for further assistance. At this time, we apologize for delay in communication, as this has been a challenging issue to unravel and define definitely unravel and definitively root cause. That's the quote. I think they missed a word there in the and finding the root cause. I don't know, something for that, but that is what Intel has said, and I I think that Intel does have a problem here, and while the delay in the communication I think also has partially to do with what are we going to do. Intel's financials weren't, they still made money and stuff, but not the best, right? There is a layoff happening, and I hope that all those people at Intel are able to, land on their feet again. A layoff's not something fun if you're part of the layoff and having to find a new work and stuff, so hopefully they can get back on their feet quickly. But Intel has, what is it, about 10,000 workers. I've seen numbers that Intel wants to go as high as like 15%, so maybe like 15,000 workers or whatever, and that's a lot of workers. And I think Intel is seeing some headwinds here. And I don't think it's all just because of the 13th and 14th gen stuff. I think that there's a lot of factors here with it, and maybe a different videos on financials, but the aspects here of what to do when you have a potentially, let's say it is even 25% of all the processors out there have a stability issue, and there's some permanent damage. This 5 years at least gets you extra, your warranty gets you a little bit more. I would have liked to seen a doubling of warranty, just to show, to me, if I was running the company, let's double the warranty at least. Let's make sure that we're giving the user at least enough warranty, even if our fix, unquotes, fix for the microcode issue were to, just prevent further damage if it fails, within another 3 years of us, let's say they've had the 13 for 2 years and they're gonna be out in 5 years in one day. You kind of want to cover that, and hopefully Intel's at least a little bit lenient on these. Let's say we're getting to end of 5 years and they're more lenient. I am interested in anyone that has had an RMA denied by Intel. If they resubmit, do they just get, basically special treatment? Yes, we're going to fast track this approval and we're going to get you a new processor, because that's what Intel needs to be doing here. If you are somebody that has done an RMA and doesn't get that, I am curious to know, because that would just be pointing to another thing where this warranty, while it's extended, is more of a lip service than it is we need to be taking care of our customers hands down and making sure that this issue is fixed in whatever ways possible. And we could be seeing here, different things that were causing this. Maybe it is just a microcode fix, but Intel went on the oxidation issue and they had a statement on that as well, which they said the via oxidation issue currently reported in the press is a minor one that was addressed with manufacturing improvements and screens in early 2023. The issue was identified in late 2022, and with the manufacturing improvements and additional screens implemented, Intel was able to confirm full removal of impacted processors from our supply chain early 2024. So that was, a full year of them being out there. However, on-shelf inventory may have persisted into early 2024. As a result, minor manufacturing issues are an inescapable fact of all silicon products. Intel continues to work with customers to troubleshoot and remit product failures reports and provide public communication on product issues when the customer risk exceeds Intel's quality control thresholds. And at this point, if I'm Intel, any problem with the 13th gen that somebody's using, 13th and 14th gen, I am just going to say it's my problem. I have to take that chip and I have to prove that it is working properly. I think that's where Intel needs to go at this point, is just accept those returns. Now, there's talk out there and questions out there of if Intel has enough all the processors to, do the RMAs and stuff, or do they have to have maybe Intel has to do kind of like a buyback program, buy back these processors when they have the next gen out, and form kind of an upgrade process. If they are worried about this, I don't know. There could be a multitude of things that Intel can do to kind of either mitigate. I mean, they're doing that with the extended warranty, hopefully trying to mitigate this. But I feel like there needs to be another step. You just don't want somebody out there that misses the microcode update, right? Intel's going to have to get that out there. I don't know how they effectively get this microcode out there unless they can push it through Windows or Linux and effectively make that work. I've seen some BIOS be updated through Windows. Not every BIOS is there yet, or Windows Update. But does that kind of, facilitate that Intel goes, we need this, Microsoft, we have to push this out. This is, otherwise it's going to be a bigger hit to their bottom line with all the RMAs and returns. I don't know. Like, this is just me thinking out loud and me not being in the rooms at Intel to be able to understand what is actually happening here. And the fact that this has taken so long, right? The response was a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that. And now we're getting the update of the oxidation issue, and hey, it's not, we're giving you an extra warranty now, is kind of, I think, just building pressure of Intel. You've had a lot of time to look at this, and I get the microcode and it can take time to look at what the failure rates are. But when you have game companies saying basically on air screens, if they crash, you're using the wrong processor, they're going away from this. It's making us look bad, and all your other consumers down the line that are using your processors are upset. Then you have customers that use them for gaming, in their daily systems, and even companies that have them that may or may not know what is there. And everything they have to go through to upgrade all the microcode or whatever else. This is a bigger issue than I think Intel has taken seriously for many months. And while their communication um, is something that is welcomed, I think that they need to be a lot more aggressive of, here's what we're willing to offer you. 2 years is nice. I think the extended warranty is there, but that was, when you released a statement, a couple weeks ago, that should have been in that statement, right? If you are putting your customers first, you're trying to put the best things out there for the customer so that they're feeling like they're taking it at ease, and they're using their processor isn't just going to mean that they're going to be an RMA sequence here in the next week and a half, right? And all this time that you're trying to get the microcode out, is there an option that you could have had out for that's better than your baseline or whatever they're calling it, the default profile, the baseline profile? Is that better to make sure that when the processor in the microcoder is requesting doesn't request a too high a voltage, to help mitigate this if that is the fix for this? And for those that do have damage and can't reach those original advertised clocks that you had every single reviewer make sure that they push their chip to with those profiles, is that also now covered underneath this warranty? If they degrade to another level, while you said you'll talk about this in the coming days, this is one of those things where it's not that hard, Intel. This is, yeah, we're hands down, we're taking care of our customers 100%. If they have a slight slow issue, if their processor doesn't operate as it used to be, we're replacing that. No questions asked. We have to make sure that we are putting out the best products possible, and we expect that from ourselves. And since this issue has gone on way too long, we made a major mistake, and we need to make sure we're replacing processors that do have that degradation, that don't come up to our standards. We want to be the best processor out there for people to use, and this is what we stand by. And that should have been the message. I don't get why it was so hard for, and why Intel's always walking around these things trying to get there. One thing that I appreciate what AMD did with the exploding CPU, which was a disaster, right? That was a disaster, but AMD was like, yeah, you get a new CPU, we're replacing this, whatever we need to do. Just, we got to do it. And I don't remember all the details of it, but I do remember that it wasn't just a thing that dragged on for months and months. It was, yeah, there was a problem. Yeah, microcode or whatever else, there's a major problem, and we needed to fix it. They took responsibility for it, and they went through it. I mean, I just had a problem with a battery in one of my power tools I have, right? I contacted the company, and you know what? It was underneath warranty and taking care of it right away. All the information I needed to prove that I purchased it, within the last year, done. Okay, you're approved. Very simple, very making sure it's taking care of the customer right away. Let's deal with it. I mean, granted, I have to go and drop off the old battery to recycle it, but they wanted to make sure that I was taken care of as a customer. And by the way, that makes me feel like even though I'm just a number to a lot of these companies, right? You and I are just a number to a lot of these companies. But Intel, just go like all these other companies that are starting to realize and take care of their customers and just do it. I mean, if you want to know how to do it wrong, go watch some Louis Rossmann, and he will point out of how some warranty claims here are not done right. And I feel like you're towing the line of how they're not done right than how they are done right. And this is me going on now for a little bit, but it is getting annoying. I almost feel like going out and buying a 13900K or 14900K, dropping it in my kid's machine, even though they don't use it that much, and it's way overkill for them. I want to see if it breaks. I'm very tempted now to see if it's going to break, because this is starting to worry me that down the line in 5 years or something, 5 years and 6 months, people are going to start having a slower degradation, and their microcode change is just going to slow down the degradation that's already happened, and it's just going to keep going, and you're going to see, right before that, maybe 5 years, 6 months, 6 years, they're all going to be dropping dead, and people are going to be having to upgrade their machines. And that's where I think that Intel should have maybe had a full recall, just said, we're going to go and we're going to own this. I know it's going to cost a lot of money, but we got to get all these processors out and get new ones there, and that's just the way it has to be. Or they could have went through and just had a buyback program with an upgrade to their next desktop processor. Of course, they would have to announce that when it comes out. Or I guess they could announce it now, saying, here's what we're willing to give you. You might, give you a bigger discount on the processor because you have to go get a new motherboard, or just a swap out for a processor that maybe is an i7 instead of an i9. I don't know how that would all work. And then you have to get a new motherboard. That, that could have been an option for Intel of doing something like that. But when you have extended warranties, I like that part. I just feel like Intel probably needs to be just putting a bigger foot, or a better foot forward, and better incentives forward to be, to show they are behind their, products to support their customers. So with that, thank you so much for watching Gray Overload and helping this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for listening to me ramble here. It's been annoying here with some of the customer service stuff that has been happening. And I feel like, just I want to see the people that are using their computers for gaming or whatever else just be taken care of. And that's one thing that I think customers are forgetting, or companies are forgetting about the customer. And in the long run, that's going to hurt the company. And I don't like that. I'm trying to give them a warning shot. I'm trying to help them out here. And hopefully, somebody inside one of these companies realize how important customers are. They buy your product, they use your product, and they're willing to buy a product again. They're pretty important to your whole business model. You don't have customers, you don't have a company. And I think that's forgotten a lot of times in many of these big corporations. So hopefully I'll be getting a lot more videos out to you. I got a few reviews I have to get done hopefully this next month. I got one I promised was talking to a company that I've did a review of the cooler ice giant, and I was able to talk to them a little bit more, and so I hopefully got some content coming there and stuff. So I've been trying to fix a retaining wall that was falling over. So once I get that done, I'll be able to do a little bit more content here. But trying to get that wall up so that it didn't fall over has been a multi-week process so far, and there's still a lot of work to do on it. So just thanks for all your support and helping this channel. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. It really does help out the channel. Until next time, God bless.